what is faster? Transcription or translation? Where here we were talking about whether it's the process of transcription for RNA polymerase or the process of translation through the ribosome. Okay, and we were talking about several options. Anyway, we could let's do a quick vote. Who's voting for transcription being faster? About half. Who's voting for translation being faster? Another half. Who's voting for roughly the same? Few people. Who's voting for it depends? Okay, we got rid of this option. Okay, so most of you are wrong, which is great. So let's try to put numbers around it. So just again, we're talking about, let's say, DNA. We're already at RNA. No, you have, yeah, I could start and do the schematic, let's say. This is the DNA, and then we have the RNA polymerase making here the RNA. And then on the RNA, we have the ribosomes jumping in. And they'll be going in this direction. And from there, and as a result, you start to have a protein. How is my schematic? Clear enough, right?
Accurate.
Okay, so now we're asking about the rate at which this goes, it doesn't matter, in this direction. This is the rate of transcription versus the rate that we have here, which is the rate of, it's to translation by the ribosome. Okay, anybody knows anything about those rates?
Few kilobytes per minute by polymerase.
Okay, so saying for the RNA polymerase,
I remember about 40 base pairs per second.
so I have 40 bases per second. That's about right, which is what you said when you convert it. So let's say few tens to 100 bases per second. Okay, well, I'm again using the notation of this being a few. We had 40, so 40 sits somewhere here. It could be 60, it could be 30, it could be 80, somewhere in this range. Okay, what about the rate of the ribosome? Anybody carries something in their head? Okay, so you might see it in this, like we had this, I think we might have sent it to you, the key numbers in cell biology, which is just like a few numbers that we think are worthwhile remembering, because from them you can infer, instead of remembering 1,000 numbers, you need to remember like 10 numbers or 20 numbers, and with them you can do lots of stuff. So the rate of the ribosomal translation is actually quite useful by itself, and that's somewhere between 10 and few tens of amino acids per second. Now you might ask me, why are the rates this? And I'll tell you, I don't know. It's the empirical fact that you can do the measurement and see that these are the rates. The understanding of why did evolution reach those values, or why biophysical constraints limit those values, that's a really good question, and I think very worthwhile investigating. There's some papers about it, but I think there's more to be said about it. Also dictates many things like the ability to how fast can you divide and other things that you could explore. But I don't have a great answer, but it's the sort of thing also that I like in the sense that it raises new questions from looking at the numbers. But I can infer something about going back to this question. What can I infer? What? That it's the same. Why the same? Because this seems faster than this. Right, so you can see that between this and this, we have like a few fold difference of this being faster. But there's a small catch here that this is bases and this is amino acid. And for every amino acid, you need 3 bases to be transcribed, right, in the genetic code. So interestingly, the ratio between this rate and this rate is also this ratio, meaning that effectively they're going at roughly the same rate. Okay, any implications for that come to mind? That what? That it's simultaneous, exactly. So if you look at what happens here, it's basically the rate at which this, think about it dynamically, which I'm not so good at now making it a schematic, but when this goes and this becomes longer in terms of message, the guys, so there's several let's say in bacteria where it could happen concurrently, you'll have them moving at roughly the way this length, this also moves. You'll have more of them now accumulating here. But the rate at which they're moving is roughly the rate at which they're getting the message, and it could also all happen simultaneously. And indeed, if you have all sorts of images, you see that it's like beads on a string accumulating there, and it continues from roughly where it stands here, and you create these nice, it's called Christmas trees. It's really, really cool when you have good electron microscopy on those things.